No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Ooh, the gym.
My old stomping grounds. Hank Patterson, Fly Fishing Guide.
Riley Smith, tight end.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Hey, you wouldn't happen to be the kicker?
No, tight end.
Again, thank you. I'm looking for a kicker for Lithia Ford's fall kickoff sale. But you're not the kicker.
No.
Yeah. Nah, the kicker's probably taller and in a lot better shape. So, okay. What position do you play?
Tight end.
Squats. Yeah. Try it sometime.
RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, is going all in this season with an all-star lineup. First up, he led the Broncos to 3 conference championships and 10 20-win seasons. It's Coach Leon Rice. Next, he's the founder and CEO of RowPaint.com. He played a little basketball in high school on the driveway with his mom. It's Andy Rowe.
Oh, no. Want to just paint my house?
Now that I can do. When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust RowPaint.com to get that job done right.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Today's broadcast is coming from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Canned Cocktails is perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Now, here's 4-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, how we doing, Boise State fans? Happy Monday to you. A big week begins for Boise State and the Mountain West Conference, and I know it's a holiday today, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but wanted to jump on here for a little bit and get a show in, and nice enough to join us, our man Rob Dauster with the Field of 68. I was right away, I thought I got to talk some Mountain West hoops, and I said I got to check in with my man Rob. I know you guys got the Mountain West Insider podcast you're doing, so I know you're all over the Mountain West this year. But man, appreciate your time on a Monday morning. How's it going, man?
It's going well. I gotta do what you do, man. I gotta throw some of my my accolades in there in our intro. 4-time Idaho Sports Writer of the Year. I just like how you make sure to slide that in there so everybody knows, right?
Hey, man, it's you know, this is Idaho too, so it's not like it's not California or Texas or something here with the number of competition that I have. Taking nothing away from those, just in numbers, it's maybe not as many as some states, but hey, if you got it, I'll take it, right? I mean, I got the trophies over here on the wall. Maybe I should fix the background or something. I don't know.
Get the background, man. Come on, you got to flex a little bit.
That was more when we first started to get a little cred. Now I probably don't need that. You're probably right about that, but yeah, that is kind of funny. But
never take that out, man. Never take that out. You got to love.
Well, if I get that out of there, I got more room for another sponsor. I only had 2 in the intro, so we'll see if we can get a third one in there. But Rob, appreciate you, man. Always jumping on talking Mountain West hoops. I've been lucky enough to get on your podcast already, the Mountain West Insider that you guys are doing there with the Field of 68. And I say it every time I have you on, but a lot of what we're doing here at Bronco Nation News was modeled after kind of your business model at the Field of 68. And so it's been fun to see you guys continue to grow on a national level. And we're continuing to grow here on a much smaller level. But it's been fun. And the last 2 years, man, since I started this, the first year I started, Boise State goes on a 14-game winning streak and wins the Mountain West Conference Tournament regular season title. And then last year, obviously, goes on a run, gets back to the NCAA tournament for the second year in a row. So here I am in year 3 of Bronco Nation News, and Boise State basketball going for a third straight trip to the NCAA tournament. I certainly want to talk about some of the crazy games over the weekend, and we'll kind of go back and forth. But I guess just generally, man, you're on the airwaves here on Bronco Nation News. Your thoughts on Boise State, and they had not a bad week last week, picking up 2 quad 1 wins.
Yeah, they got 2 wins that they absolutely needed to. I think that if there is a knock on Boise State right now in terms of their resume, it's that they coming into last week is that they didn't necessarily have kind of that like top level proof of what they can be as a team. Right now they have 3 quad 1 wins. Beating Colorado State at home is obviously impressive. I think everybody kind of knows how good Colorado State and Isaiah Stevens is, and then going on the road and knocking off Nevada in what is a tough road environment. People that are listening to the show obviously realize it, but I don't know how many people from a national perspective understand how tough, how loud, how rowdy road atmospheres are in the Mountain West. So any road win you get in that conference is going to, in my mind, be a good win. We see it in the Big 12 with Kansas losing at UCF. We see it in the Big East with UConn losing at Seton Hall. We see it in the Big 10, Purdue losing at Nebraska. And we can kind of get past those road losses. I think in those leagues, people realize just how tough it is to go on the road and win basketball games. And I think that the credit needs to be given for the Mountain West as well, being able to do that. And I do believe that Boise State adding those 2 quad 1 wins to their resume, that's the kind of thing that can get you from, it's good for Boise State because I think they've put themselves in a very strong position when it comes to finding a way to be able to get into the NCAA tournament. But it's good for the Mountain West as well, because I think there's a very real chance that you can get 6 teams from this conference in now. Boise was the one that we kind of had some questions about. Nevada needs to start stacking some quality wins here. And I think New Mexico picking up that 20-point win over San Diego State on Saturday is certainly going to help. But this conference to me is in a very good position to be able to get 6 teams into the dance, which is a crazy number when you think about it. And when you put it in contrast with a conference like the Pac-12, that looks like it's starting to trend towards maybe being a 1-bid league. Utah lost at Stanford last night. It's a good thing for the conference. It's a good thing for basketball in Boise. It's a good thing for you, I'm assuming. And it's just been a lot of fun to watch, man. I don't think people realize how much fun this conference is.
No doubt. And that's why I'm so happy you guys are doing the podcast and giving the Mountain West some love. And yeah, the hashtag 6-bid Mountain West, man, we got to get that thing going here, because I saw Bart Torvik does a great job with the analytics and stuff. Actually says it's more likely they get 6 than 4 at this point. He still has 5 as the most likely, but it is certainly trending in that direction. And Boise State scheduled really hard in the non-conference. Went to the East Coast and lost a couple of games over there. And you had teams like New Mexico and Nevada and even Utah State to an extent beating up on a lot of winning by a lot of points against a lot of bad teams to help their computer numbers. And there's different ways to do a schedule, and it's worked out nicely, I think, for everybody. But I think a lot of people wrote off Boise State, in my opinion, a little bit earlier, at least had some negative questions just based on the schedule. And we're propping up some of the other teams in the league when they were beating, really bad teams by 20, 30, 40 points. I think you see the other night going to Nevada, Boise State in a tight game on the road, conference play, hostile crowd. Well, they'd already done that at Clemson. They'd already done that at some other, road games and tough games. And so I thought they seemed like the better, more poised team down the stretch, and it paid off for them. And I guess that's kind of what they're hoping is the rest of the way here, that they're battle-tested, maybe a little more battle-tested than this point at some of these teams. And I know the computer metrics maybe have been a slower climb than folks had wanted, but they're up to 44 in the net. I think 50 at Ken Palm now, 41, I believe, at Bart Torvik. It's been when the net started, they were 130th. They've had to make a big climb here with some of these numbers, but I think it's starting to correct, and the schedule is helping them out. Even a Washington State that people wanted to rip on went and beat Arizona the other day. So it seems like from a resume standpoint, and I guess just from a schedule standpoint, the overall record, the 4 losses maybe isn't ideal, but Boise State is, I think, in a good position here where the computers are only going to continue to help them as they get into conference play.
Well, there's no bad losses, and that's what you kind of have to look at, right? It's not necessarily the number of losses that you have; it's how bad those losses are. And I know that right now, when you look at it, they do have 3 quad 2 losses. Well, it's 3 neutral site losses. The neutral site quad 2 cutoff is it's 51 to 100, right? That's what quadrant 2 is.
Yep.
When it comes to the net rankings, Virginia Tech is 51st in the net. That was a neutral site loss. Washington State is 52nd in the net. That's a neutral site loss. So, like, even when you kind of dive into it a little bit more, Butler is 62nd. But specifically, those other 2, they have the 2. This is going to sound like a very weird thing to say, but they have the 2 best quad 2 losses that you could possibly have on their resume. And there's a very real chance, as things kind of shake out, that those end up being quad 1 losses, which is part of the problem with the quadrant system and why I don't necessarily love people leaning all the way in on that. But that's a different conversation for a different day. The bottom line is this: Boise State's got a resume that would put them in the tournament if it started today. And that resume is only going to get better as they presumably play through this Mountain West, play some of these teams that are, ranked in the top 30 in the net, and hopefully keep winning games, man. That'd be a good thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, the San Francisco game they played early in the season has turned out to pay off. I mean, San Francisco, last I looked, was like 37th in the net, so that's solidly a quad 2 game. But if they somehow get to the top 30, that could end up being a quad 1 win for Boise State. They're beating them at home. St. Mary's, top 50 neutral site game over in Idaho Falls. They're 31 or 32 last I looked, so that's pretty solidly a quad 1 win right now. And Boise State, when you talk about the Mountain West here, Rob, I mean, all these other opportunities, and Boise State still has 7 quad 1 games left on the schedule. I mean, just the way it works out, it's a lot of opportunities for these teams in the Mountain West to rack up some quality wins. And I hope you're right. I mean, these teams are going to beat up a little bit on each other. And we had Steve Alford on the show last week before the Nevada game, and he was saying that, hey, all these other teams get, don't get pinged. Purdue losing to Nebraska, it doesn't hurt Purdue, and all these other things. So why should a Mountain West team get penalized when they go on the road and lose a tough game? And I am curious when the AP poll comes out today, just how much respect or lack thereof the Mountain West will still get with some of these teams losing. But I mentioned some of these teams maybe tricking the computers a little bit because I don't like that. That is another story for another day, like you said. But the net ranking, where you can beat a team by 40 points and move up 30 spots in the net ranking if they're a bad team, I don't necessarily like the way that's the formula is set up. And but a lot of the teams in the Mountain West used it to their advantage. And now you're at a situation here in Mountain West play where a lot of these teams, every other game is going to be quad 1. So there's a lot of opportunities for these Mountain West teams to strengthen the
look,
resume
you want to play. Yeah, not to cut you off, but part of the reason why you want teams to do that is because you want them to be able to have those good computer rankings, right? So I get what you're saying about how it looks weird in like late December or early January, but at the end of the day, if you're doing what you need to be able to do to make your computer numbers look better, and you're doing it from top to bottom within a conference so that all of those computer numbers look better, then it's going to end up being a better thing for the league overall. That's why when you look at the Big 12, and I always use this example, I don't know if it's going to be as much the case this year with some of the pieces that they've added, but the last couple of seasons, part of the reason why so many teams in the Big 12 got good seeds and so many teams in the Big 12 got in is because there was no bottom. There was no floor in that league. There was no Louisville. There was no DePaul. There was no Georgetown. There was no Boston College. There was no team at the bottom of the conference that had like a 250 rating in any of these metrics that would pull everybody down every time that you played them, right? Because you're not going to blow those teams out by 100.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that you could lose to them because at the end of the day, there's still high major players on that roster. So there's a little bit of that in the Mountain West right now, but I do think that it's something where the numbers aren't as bad as they've been in the past. And there are enough good teams, there are enough top 100 teams on all of these metrics that it just almost doesn't even really matter. So I get what you're saying in terms of where people view these teams early on when there's still a lot of noise in the stats and in the metrics. But
it paid off. It worked. They did what they needed to do. And now they're in position where, like I said, every other game's quad 1 now. I mean, it worked.
If you're not trying to game the system, look, the bottom line is this: the Mountain West is as good as a power conference. The Mountain West is not viewed as a power conference by a lot of people nationally, right? When it comes down to it, we can talk about quad 1, quad 2, net rankings, whatever you want, KenPom, this, that, the third, Torvik. At the end of the day, when the bracket gets selected, there are 10 people sitting in a room looking at a bunch of stuff, making decisions. And there is no possible way to get cognitive bias out of that conversation. It just is what it is. It's a human nature. It's when you have people making those choices that is going to come into play. There's no way around it. And being able to get those, when you are the team that is kind of on the outside, which frankly, what the Mountain West is viewed as publicly, you have to find ways to be able to game the system to help yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And I don't even think it's cheating. It's just trying to give yourself that every little bit of edge, right? And the Mountain West did it this year. I think you got to give them credit for it, right? So
no doubt.
And look, if they're winning games, it's a good thing for the league overall. So you're going to want to beat them when you play them, but every other game that those teams play, especially against non-league opponents, you want your conference to win.
Rob Dauster, our guest, here for a couple more minutes. Bronco Nation News Live. Rob with the Field of 68 does a tremendous job. You can watch their various streams and shows and podcasts throughout the day, throughout the week. Every night they're wrapping it up on the Field of 68 after dark, and they got coaches, players coming on, and it's been really cool. It's fun to have you guys out at basketball media days as well, to see you traveling around a little bit down there. And you gave us the Tyson Degenhart show shout out on your podcast, so we appreciate that. But two games over the weekend, man. You mentioned San Diego State, New Mexico, obviously a blowout there. Any thoughts on that one? And obviously I asked you about San Diego State as well, because they're hosting Nevada on Wednesday, and then 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern, leading into the NFL playoffs on Saturday. Big boy CBS. Clark Kellogg coming to Boise. I mean, it's going to be a big deal. San Diego State at Boise State on Saturday. A lot of people are fired up for that one. I know we got the UNLV game tomorrow, and I'll ask you about them next. But anything from the New Mexico, San Diego State, either those teams or that game the other night?
I was really impressed with New Mexico, and I don't think that we can overlook how important that win was for them just mentally, right? You know, those are college kids. There are a lot of players on that team that went through last season's run where everybody was hyping them up after, I think they start like 13-0 or something like that. They were one of the last undefeated teams in America. And then the wheels kind of fell off a little bit once you got to league play. And I think there was a little bit of, oh no, is this happening again? Oh no, we lost at Colorado State. Oh no, we lost at UNLV. And people were worried with San Diego State coming to town, the cream of the crop in the conference, that this could end up being something where you start 1-3 and then you get Utah State, then you got 2 more games on the road, then you get Nevada and Boise State. Like, wheels could have fallen off on this thing really quickly. And I think that being able to give yourself that confidence boost and give yourself that level of belief is really important when you kind of get into the meat of league play, when things happen so quickly. San Diego State's still San Diego State. You lose by 20 in the pit. There's no shame in that when those guys get, like Jalen House finally looked like Jalen House, and JT Toppin has been an absolute animal. I mean, he had 17 points, 16 boards, 5 blocks, and was 1 for 10 from the free throw line. Like, he could have easily gone for 25 and 16, and no one would have batted an eye. You know, the team that I've been most impressed with has been Utah State.
Yeah,
they're sitting here at 15-1. They had one of the wildest finishes I've ever.
I was going to ask you about that. What do you make of the 5-point play there?
It's the rules, man. Like, that's the way that the rules are written. That is how that play is supposed to be officiated. You can argue it. You can say that that's dumb. You can say that we need to change the rule book, which is fine. But like, that is what the rule is. If you make a 3 and there is a foul while the ball is in the air and the ball goes in, it's an and 2 basically. You get 2 shots after that ball goes in. So,
well, if they're in the bonus, 2 or
whatever it is. But you're. So it's a little bit of tough luck for UNLV. But I'll tell you what, I think that Utah State was down by, was it 18 at one point in the game? They were down by a lot.
Yeah. Yep. 15,
so,
I think, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You might have gotten a little bit of bad luck on that final whistle, but you also blew a big double-digit lead at home. So that's what I'd be more concerned about if I was UNLV.
Yeah. Utah State, I think, has one of the longest winning streaks in the country, 15, 16 in a row now. And speaking of winning streaks, do you know where the nation's longest home court winning streak resides?
Yeah, that would be right there in Boise, Idaho.
It does, and they got that's
now, right? 23? Is it 23?
22? I believe it is. But the nation's longest home court winning streak going to be put to the test all year, really, but specifically this week. And I I don't know how much you've watched UNLV, but with the Boone brothers both eligible now and playing well, and they're a sneaky team. They already beat New Mexico at the Pit. In Vegas. They should have beat Utah State in Vegas. I know they're a different team on the road, but a lot of hype in Boise, myself included, already kind of hyping up a sellout on Saturday against San Diego State on CBS, but that game won't mean as much if Boise State doesn't win tomorrow night. A couple of good games in the Mountain West tomorrow night as we start to wrap this up with Rob, but you got New Mexico hosting Utah State tomorrow night. That's going to be a big one. And then I think a sneaky good game, UNLV, is coming to Boise tomorrow night.
Well, look, every night that there is Mountain West action, there is going to be at least one good game. That is what happens when the top 6 teams in the league are all good enough to win the conference. And when teams in the 7th and 8th spots are probably good enough to be able to beat anybody else on any given night in that conference. And we still haven't talked about Timmy Miles. Like they came within a possession of picking off San Diego State at home. So I know they don't necessarily have the most talented team in the world, but
they were up double digits on Boise State for a good chunk of that game. They probably should have beat Boise State. Boise State that was their conference opener. Boise State was down 9 with 10 minutes left at San Jose State, about to start 0-1 in league play with a loss at San Jose. Storms back, wins the game, and then follows it up by beating Colorado State and Nevada, and is now 3-0. It's crazy what 8, 9, 10 days did for Boise State's outlook.
Yeah. And now if you beat UNLV, you get San Diego State at home. With a chance to probably move into sole possession of first place in the Mountain West. So, look, we knew Boise was good. It took them a little while to kind of figure it out and start stacking up those wins. But if you're going to tell me that I can have Tyson Degenhart and I can have Max Rice and Omar Stanley's playing the way that he's playing, and the Agbo kid,
Chibuzo Abo, Texas Tech
Agbo, yeah. When he's kind of out there and he's making shots, like that's a good team there that looks like it's really started to figure it out. And as that offense kind of picks up a little bit more, as they start making a couple more shots, it's never going to be easy scoring on Boise State. But look, there's going to be more often than not that they probably have the best player on the floor. And when they do, they're going to be a very difficult team to beat.
So your outlook for Boise State, you expect them come March to be in the big dance again?
As long as they don't do something dumb. Like, it's the problem with a league as good as the Mountain West is you can get hot and everyone can be all in on you, and then you can go around, or you could turn around and they have I'm looking at their schedule right now. All right, do you get to the end of the season, right? What happens if you lose at Wyoming and lose at Air Force at the end of February?
Yeah,
which is very possible, like something that could really happen. All of a sudden, your resume looks a little bit more shaky, and they didn't necessarily have a ton of stuff in non-conference to be able to hang their hat on. So there's no room for complacency once you get to conference play in a league as difficult as the Mountain West. And as long as Boise State keeps winning, like if they don't do something dumb, they're dancing. They're going to go to the NCAA tournament. But in a league as good as the Mountain West, like I'll keep saying it, there's a lot of chances to do something dumb.
People are loving you on the chat here, Rob. Field of 68 on BNN. Let's go. We got love the Field of 68 content. Awesome to have you on. Rob Dauster's an awesome guest. Not sure the last time I heard that to have on the show. Nice job. So, Rob, I needed to pick me up on a Monday. So you agreed to come on. The checks.
Maybe I should put that in the intro now. You have the Boise's Sports Writer of the Year, four-time Sports Writer of the Year. Maybe I just need to put Rob Dauster, awesome guest, as the intro to the whole Field of 68 shows.
Hey man. Maybe next time we have you on, I'll put a little intro together for you. We'll hype you up.
There we go.
You got some awards somewhere, I'm sure. Come on.
I once finished in 3rd place in a writing competition. That's all I got.
That was like 20 years ago in kindergarten or something. I mean, come on.
No, I don't even. A long time ago, man.
What? Before I let you go, got free plug for what you guys are doing there at the Field of 68. Where can folks check you out? What are you guys all about here for folks on? I think they're all familiar with it. We got a lot of diehards on here, but if not, give us the plug.
Yeah, Field of 68 after dark, 11 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Mountain time. Every night there are games during the college basketball season. We will be doing the Mountain West Insider podcast once a week. That tends to be on a Monday or a Tuesday. And spoiler alert, there may or may not be a guest from the city that you live in for this week's show. BJ, got to give a little bit of love to the team that picked off Colorado State and won at Nevada this week. So make sure you check that out. Hopefully it'll be out by tomorrow morning.
Interesting. We're doing some interviews at 12:30, but they told us Leon Rice had a previous interview commitment. I wonder what possibly he could be doing before that.
No comment.
Appreciate you as always, Rob. That'll be a fun one. He's a fun guest to have on, and we appreciate you as always for jumping on. We'll be following it. We'll be following your podcast, and hopefully here a couple weeks down the road, we're going to get you out to we got to get you out for the Mountain West tournament. Last year, the Pac-12 tournament out there, you got like 5 conference tournaments in Vegas. We got to get you guys back out there, man, for conference tournament week. Come on.
Look, we got a situation where it might be Gonzaga make or not make the NCAA tournament, right? You have the Mountain West Conference tournament, which is going to be nuts. You have the last ever Pac-12 conference tournament, all out there in the same week. So you never know, man. You never know. We'll see what happens.
Well, our friends at Circa, I'm sure we can make it happen, man. Got to get you back out there again. But thanks for your time, man. And we'll be talking to you soon, man. Really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, BJ.
There he is, Rob Dauster, best in the business. We appreciate him for jumping on and joining us. And as I've said numerous times before, what they're doing at the Field of 68 kind of gave me a little bit of the idea to start Bronco Nation News. So just to kind of the video shows and things, seeing what they're doing, and they're doing it obviously on a much bigger national scale. But to see what the Field of 68 is doing is really cool. And I'm even stealing some of their ideas, even today, and trying to make what we're doing at Bronco Nation News bigger and better every time out. We'll keep this thing rolling. I'm going to talk about the win at Nevada. A big week ahead for Boise State. Get your questions, your thoughts, your comments in. Going to take a quick 90-second timeout. Thanks to some of our sponsors, but we're rolling along on a Monday here. Bronco Nation News back in 90 seconds. All Bronco Nation News broadcasts come from the Cutwater Spirits Canned Cocktail Studios. Check out one of their more than 30 flavors of pre-mix premium cocktails at your local gas station or grocery store. Cutwater Spirits, perfect for your next game day tailgate party. Our title sponsor is rowpaint.com. For all your commercial, industrial, residential painting needs, check out rowpaint.com. Don't forget about their concrete coatings. Transform that ugly concrete slab on your back patio in your garage in just one day. Contact rowpaint.com for a free estimate today. The official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics, and our title sponsor at Bronco Nation News is rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union's been helping members achieve financial success for more than 80 years. There's an ICCU branch on almost every corner, but the closest is in your pocket with free eBranch mobile and online banking. See why more than 500,000 members love ICCU, and join 1 in 4 Idahoans by making the switch today at ICCU.com. Since 1984, Ridley's Family Markets has prided itself on being a hometown food and drug store that employed value members of the local community. Ridley's Family Markets has 13 locations in the state of Idaho and many more in the surrounding states. Download the new Ridley's app to your smartphone, get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line, and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. Former Bronco Matt Boucher is once again the number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. Let them fulfill all your real estate needs at BoucherRealEstate.com. Rolling along here on a Monday edition of Bronco Nation News Live. We'll have Jay Tuss tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. By the way, just a plug, it'll be a game day tomorrow. We'll get Jay on. And don't sleep on UNLV. I know a lot of people, myself included, are already looking forward, excited about Saturday's game. But I'm telling you, this is not going to be a really easy game against UNLV tomorrow night. And I'm sure Leon Rice will give we'll say the same when we talk to him here a little bit later. But this is a team that has a couple, at least one nice win, almost another nice win. I mean, they've played, and that's just talking in conference play. I mean, you look at what UNLV has done. They went to double overtime with St. Mary's. Probably should have beat them, lost in double overtime to St. Mary's, but they beat Creighton, who is ranked 15th right now at Ken Palm. I mean, they got one of the best wins in the Mountain West this year, beating Creighton. That was a big win. And then they beat New Mexico at home by 10 last Saturday and should have beaten Utah State. I mean, they should have a win already against Utah State and New Mexico, 2 of the top, projected 6 teams in the league, and didn't get the late call win against them. They lost the game, but they were up double digits for a good chunk of that game. So I think UNLV comes in. They've played a brutal schedule. I mean, they played San Diego State, New Mexico, Utah State in their first 3 games, and they're 1-2 and very easily could be 2-1 in a factory here. And they're up to number 82 at Ken Palm. They're a top 100 team, I believe, in the net ranking. So everyone wants to get their tickets for Saturday, but I think tomorrow night needs to be a sellout and equally as loud. I mean, tomorrow night is a huge game because you lose this game, all of a sudden that's a quad 3 loss, and it's takes the damper off of everything a little bit. But if you want Saturday to mean as much as it could against San Diego State, you got to find a way to win tomorrow night's game first against UNLV. So I would be all in tomorrow night on UNLV. I would be buying your tickets, telling your friends, selling that place out, get that place rocking, and worry about Saturday on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I think UNLV is going to come in here. They got the Boone brothers that once they got Caleb Boone going, he's a 6'9" forward. He's been awesome for them since he came in and got eligible. So they got one of the best freshmen in the league, maybe the best freshman in the league, in Deedon Thomas. I mean, they've got a very talented team, and I think that definitely should be paying attention to what UNLV is doing. I think they're going to be a factor in pulling off some upsets here, down the stretch of the conference play. And they got to go here, and then I think they go to either Logan or Colorado State on Friday. Let's see the schedule here. They go straight to Colorado State on Friday. I'm not sure. They usually charter, so I'm not sure if they'll go home for 2 days or what. But UNLV, brutal schedule. Again, they could maybe be 1-4 in the league and still feel pretty good with all the other games they have coming up. Their schedule's heavily front loaded, playing the first 6 games against the top 6 teams in the league, or first 5, I guess it is. So I would be totally paying attention to UNLV, and this is a very scary game tomorrow night for a lot of reasons, mostly because you're supposed to win, and you're supposed to win by like 6-7 points. I mean, it's supposed to win this one rather easily, and like I said, Saturday's game won't mean as much if you can't get that win. But wouldn't it be nice if you win the game tomorrow night, and then you get a chance on Wednesday night to just kind of sit back and relax and watch San Diego State and Nevada battle it out, and get Boise State's going to get that extra day of rest before they play San Diego State. So that's certainly going to be nice. San Diego State hosts Nevada on Wednesday night down there at Viejas Arena. And so every night, as Rob said, every night there's just a big game in the Mountain West. And I kept thinking about it, just so impressed with what Boise State was able to do at Nevada, and to get that road win. I mean, any road, you got it. We've talked about it. You got to hold serve at home, win those home games, then try to pick off 1 or 2 on the road, and you're going to be right there. And Boise State already has the first kind of feather in their cap there. I think they're the only top 6 team, and you guys can remind me if I'm wrong here, but I believe they're the only team out of the top 6 that has a road win at the other top 6. So if you're Boise State, I don't want to say you have the ability to now give up a home game, but when you win a road game, that kind of gives you a chance to maybe kind of let things even out somewhere else if it has to. So if they were to, say, lose to San Diego State on Saturday, well, you got that road win at Nevada that kind of in a way cancels it out because you still get the quad 1 win. So not to say that's what you want to do, but I think every road win in conference you can get gives yourself a little margin for error maybe somewhere else. I think Boise State's one of the only teams in the league with 2 road wins already. I think Utah State does as well, but 2 road wins in the league. And you've got, again, you're 2-0 against the top teams in the league. So, Boise State has already, Utah State's already won at Air Force, and they've won at UNLV. So Utah State is 4-0 in conference, but 3 of their 4 games have been against the projected bottom teams in the league. And the one other game was Colorado State, which was at home. So, Utah State, longest winning streak in the nation, 15 in a row. And they're going to come into Boise a week from Saturday. They actually get a bye before they play Boise State. They are at New Mexico on Tuesday. And then on Saturday, Utah State is home against Fresno. So very interested tomorrow night to watch that game as well. Probably have to watch it on tape, obviously, with the Boise State game going on. But Utah State going to the pit. That's a game where, again, you got to hold serve at home. That's a game where you would expect New Mexico to win, and New Mexico should win. If Utah State were to somehow go to the pit and win, then you're like, okay, that's an unexpected home loss for New Mexico. That would really ding them. And then Utah State gets that extra check in their box. So huge game tomorrow night. And if you're the Mountain West, if you're, those teams, you would expect and think and hope probably that New Mexico's able to find a way to hold serve at home there, knowing that at some point they go back to Logan to have to play as well. So that's why these home games are so important. You just got to take care at home of your home court and win these home games, and then try to do what you can on the road. I mean, if Boise State can win one game against the other 5 teams in the top 5, I think they're going to be fine. They already have one against Nevada. Now you have a chance to sweep them on senior night when they come back. You got a chance on Saturday to beat San Diego State. I don't think you want to put all your eggs in your basket going to on senior night at San Diego State, the final game of the season, needing to beat them to avoid a sweep or something. Because don't forget, a couple years ago when Boise State got swept by Colorado State, you had the controversial call on Super Bowl Sunday, Randy McCall missing the foul where Abu Kijab should have been going to the line. Boise State getting swept by Colorado State gave like Colorado State a 6 seed and Boise State an 8 seed or whatever it was. I mean, sweeping those teams, the head-to-head really matters. And if you can get a win against these top teams, it really balances things out. So already having a win against Nevada is huge, especially on the road. And now you get a chance on Saturday. But again, tomorrow night, UNLV's coming to town. They got the Oklahoma State they got a lot of transfers, but they got the Oklahoma State transfers, Caleb and Keelan Boone, and they're both playing really, really well. And the big man in particular, Caleb Boone, 6'9", 215 senior. He has the 25.7% of the possessions where he could end with him with the ball. So he's their go-to guy right now, their major contributor. And obviously Keelan Boone, his brother, is also there. But they've got Deaton Thomas, as I said. We'll break UNLV down a little more specifically tomorrow with Jay Tust. I also am going to be recording an interview today with Tim Duryea that will play tomorrow morning, and then also again tomorrow on the pregame show as well. So we'll talk to Tim Duryea and get some thoughts from him on this matchup. And then Leon Rice is talking at 12:30 today as well. So we'll have a lot of specific coverage of this game tomorrow on a game day edition of Bronco Nation News Live. Sell out the X for UNLV is what Tyree is saying. Let's see. I know we had some other ones here. Only matchup with UNLV. That is a big one too. Excuse me. You hope it doesn't matter for tiebreakers, but when you only play a team once, that is certainly a important factor. You only get one shot at UNLV. And I'll tell you what, when the schedule came out, I was a little disappointed that Boise State didn't go to Vegas, just because I love Vegas and always the favorite road trip of the year for me. And when you thought about it, you said, why couldn't you switch it? Why couldn't they just go to Vegas and then have Wyoming only come to Boise? Because right now you have it where Boise State only goes to Laramie. You don't get Wyoming because you only play two teams once, as you guys know, and that is Boise State going to Laramie, and then Boise State not going to UNLV are the two there. And so when it came out, I was like, I wish it was switched, only have, skip the Laramie trip, have them come to Boise and then get to go to UNLV. And that would have been a nice trade, Vegas for Laramie. But now the way it's looking where UNLV, that looks like a scary game for any team that has to go into Vegas there. You already had New Mexico lose. Utah State should have lost, got a miracle 5-point play there. And so I think avoiding having to go to Vegas may have paid off for Boise State, but I think Wyoming's always going to be a tough out at home, and that's a discussion for a couple weeks from now. But Rob brought up that trip late February. That is going to be a really tough, sneaky tough trip where Boise State goes to Wyoming and then is going to stay on the road and drive down to Air Force and play at Air Force. Back-to-back games at Wyoming and Air Force, games that everyone expects Boise State probably to win and rather easily. But if you lose either one of those, all of a sudden the detractors can say, oh, there's their bad loss, and that could hurt you for a lot of different things. So that's going to be a sneaky trip coming up down the line. But first things first, big week for Boise State, obviously, against UNLV on Tuesday. And I mentioned it, by the way, it's going to be Carter Blackburn and Dan Dickow on the call tomorrow night for Boise State on, I believe, CBS Sports Network. And then on Saturday, how about this? You get Clark Kellogg making his first ever trip to Boise. He said it at halftime, I believe, of the San Diego State New Mexico game that he was excited for his first ever trip to Boise. So you'll have Clark Kellogg on the color. Pretty cool. Big time national CBS game to get Clark Kellogg out there. And he'll be doing it with, excuse me, I forgot that here. That'll be Spiro Didis or Spiro Didis. Sorry if I mispronounce his last name, but the Spiro does a good job. He was actually the play-by-play guy on the call for the New Mexico and San Diego State game on Saturday, and so it'll be him, Spiro, and Clark Kellogg on Saturday. So that's going to be a big-time game, and I believe it leads right into the playoffs for the NFL, and so really cool that Boise State's going to get that kind of recognition on Saturday. But again, as Perry says, just win, baby. Got to win on Tuesday. Dayton says how big back-to-back weekends the Mountain West featured on CBS. Huge opportunity, yeah, because I think a lot of national AP voters, a lot of national fans, if you win both the games this week and you're 5-0, and I did see, I don't think the full polls come out yet, but I did see that our friend Chris Murray, who covers Nevada down there in Reno for Nevada Sportsnet, he voted for Boise State, number 24 in his AP ballot this week. I don't expect Boise State to be ranked. If I was an AP voter, I would have waited one more week. If I was thinking about it, and if I was the AP voter, I thankfully gave that up to Jay Tust a year or two ago. I had done it for about 7 years, but I think I would want to see one more week from Boise State. I mean, you're still in the 40s and 50s in a lot of the computer metrics and things, but they're going to have at least 2 points because they got a 24th place vote from Chris Murray. And then I think what you do is you watch this week, and if Boise State beats UNLV, beats San Diego State on national TV, gets another top 25 potentially win, and is 5-0 in conference play, and they'd be 15-4, whatever it is at that point. I think that you would have to consider having Boise State. They'd be 14-4. I guess they're 12-4 right now. But if Boise State were to win the 2 games this week, I think there's a very strong chance they could be ranked next week in the top 25. If you're 5-0 in a conference where a third of the way through in a conference where a lot of people expect 4, 5, 6 teams to get into the NCAA tournament, I think 2 wins this week would probably be enough to get Boise State into the top 25 next week. But that's obviously a big if. You got a lot to do before then. But if you guys are paying attention, a lot of teams around the country on Boise State's schedule continue to pick up big wins. As Jordan says, the Wazoo over Arizona was wild. Really nice boost for Wazoo there in the computer metrics. They're up to number 51 now, or 52 right there in the rankings. And all they have to do is get to 50, and that makes that a quad 1 game. I know Boise State lost that, but a quad 1 loss looks better than a quad 2 loss. So same thing with Virginia Tech. They're right there, as Rob was talking about earlier. And then the only negative one is that Butler had a big drop down after they lost. They're like 62. But any neutral site game that can get into the top 50, that's a quad 1 game. So that's certainly something you want to pay attention to here moving forward. Let's see. Was hoping for Rafferty on Saturday. Oh, well. Yeah, I get that. But I think Clark Kellogg is also very good and very well respected. And I think that, if you get Clark Kellogg on the game, then he's in the studio a lot too. So he's going to see Boise State in person. And then when he's in the studio for a lot of these games and they're talking Mountain West, he's going to be able to speak favorably of Boise and Boise State and the atmosphere there in the Mountain West since he's coming out to do the game. So that should be a lot of fun there. Let's take one more time out. We'll keep this thing rolling. We got a lot still to discuss. You got any other thoughts, comments, football, basketball, Mountain West, whatever you guys got? We're going to take one more quick 90-second break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere here on Bronco Nation News. Bronco Nation News is sponsored by Tommy Alquist and Ball Ventures Alquist, Idaho's premier commercial real estate development company. BVA projects specialize in office, retail, flex, medical, and industrial spaces located at some of the most strategic and visible locations in the valley. Need a developer? Looking for new space? Think BVA. At BVA, we are Idaho's developer. The Nicolason family and SON management have proudly been operating Taco Bell restaurants in and around the Treasure Valley since 1969. One of the first to make a 7-figure donation to the Lyle Smith Society, they've also stepped up their support of Boise State athletics with the Taco Bell men's and women's basketball endowed scholarships. The Nicolason family and SON management have committed at least $310,000 by 2026. Get more information on their financial support of Boise State athletics and find information on applying to work at Taco Bell at tacobellworks.com. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud supporter of Boise State athletics and the official car and truck of the Broncos. Lithia Ford of Boise supports Bronco student athletes through NIL deals, including providing Ford vehicles to Taylon Green and Riley Smith from the football team and Paige Barsh from the volleyball team. Rain's family purchased our F-150 from Lithia Ford. Couldn't be happier with the purchase. Check out the all-electric F-150 Lightning or the electric Mustang Mach-E at Lithia Ford, and make sure to check out their full inventory of vehicles at lithiafordboise.com. The Blue and Orange Store is the perfect spot to get all your gear for your next Bronco game. The Blue and Orange Store has official Nike apparel, including jerseys, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, and more. Wear what the Broncos wear and get it at the Blue and Orange Store, the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall, or get free shipping on a $40 order online at theblueandorangestore.com. Back here on a live Monday edition of Bronco Nation News. Shout out, by the way, to Bronco Brew Coffee. You're looking for some fresh, roasted-to-order coffee that helps Boise State at the same time? Check out broncobrew.coffee. Roasted to order, and they're the official partner of Boise State Athletics. And as we've told you, every time you purchase a bag of coffee from Bronco Brew Coffee, you can choose an athlete, and a portion of the money, a couple bucks, goes straight into the pocket on an NIL deal. Andrew Simpson, I think, has just joined there as well. They've got Markel Reed, some other players as well, and you can do it. You can set it up where you just automatically every week get a bag delivered. You can set up the subscription service, and they're starting a QB1 fund as well to raise some money, whether it's for Malachi Nelson or another star player. You can donate money, and then when that pot gets big enough, they're going to give it right to an athlete. So BroncoBrew.coffee, highly recommend it. Fresh coffee, delicious tasting coffee. And while we're talking delicious, you need to check out our friends over. You looking for a new job? Well, how about friends? Sorry about that. Our friends over at Lean Feast. We really appreciate what they're doing at Bronco Nation News. I was trying to click on the graphic there. There we go. Check them out. I'm heading over today to get some food. Healthy eating, whether it's steak, chicken, shrimp, fish. They have all the 10,000 different combinations of veggies, carbs, protein. You see in the top left corner there, bottom right, they just make the meals right there for you. Kind of tell them what you want on each one, and they get it prepped for you. And then it's good in the It's good in the fridge for 5 days, and then you just pop it in the microwave for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and you're ready to go. So perfect for folks on the go, or if you work in an office building or something, don't have time to cook lunch. Highly recommend Lean Feast. It's right there in Meridian, and that web address has been updated. It's actually leanfeastmeridian.com is the website, leanfeastmeridian.com. Check them out. Appreciate Dave and their staff. They do a tremendous job, and we're happy to be partners with them. And trying to get off the holiday 15 here, and certainly we'll be eating a lot of meals at Lean Feast and going to check them out today, as I said. So appreciate Dave. And if you're looking for healthy eating and delicious food and filling food, this is all made to order, not frozen, whatever meals. It's all delicious, healthy stuff, and it's fully customizable, and you will not be disappointed if you go check out the fine folks over there at Lean Feast. Let's see. Yep, that's what I was mentioning. Derek, I said that Saturday it's his first visit to Boise, so he's looking forward to going out there for the first time. Kellogg, that is. Being ranked in the Mountain West has been dangerous, Lisa said. Yeah, 2 of the 3 or 3 of the 4, whatever it was last week, all went down. And again, Utah State should have lost. I mean, I get the rule call. I get it. When the shot goes up and there's a foul, that you call it, and if it goes in, you still get the 2 shots. And but for UNLV to lose like that when the 3 goes in, it also tells you, like, it's a coaching moment. Like, don't foul. They always say, don't foul. You're up by 4. Let the guy shoot the 3. Everyone else stay back. There's no need for a rebound there. You're up 4 with 10 seconds left. If they get an offensive rebound, good for them. Like, just do not foul in that situation when you're up by 4. Whether it was a foul or not, I don't know. It was a 50-50 kind of. They both hit each other. The ref was kind of blocked. See this guy fall down, makes the call. But to be up 4 with 10 seconds left and to lose on a 3-pointer and then a foul and 2 free throws in a 5-point play. I mean, even the announcer, who I think was Carter Blackburn, who's coming to Boise on Tuesday, said, they need a miracle now. And then the shot goes up, the foul called, and it's like, well, there's their miracle. I mean, that was absolutely crazy. And so good for Utah State, probably good for the Mountain West that Utah State won that game and keeps their national ranking high and keeps their computer numbers high. But that was certainly a game UNLV should have won. And that's why I think Boise State fans should be solely focused on UNLV for tomorrow night's game. Again, they already beat New Mexico and should have beaten Utah State. And then they only lost by 10, I believe, at San Diego State. So that's certainly a game that I think is going to be a little sneaky and tricky tomorrow night. Ken Palm, checking the numbers here, has Boise State only projected to win at home by 6 points. So that tells you all you need to know right there. The computer numbers say this is going to be a close game tomorrow. Only has Boise State winning by 6. And that's certainly a game that is going to be a big one for Boise State, because if you find a way to win that one, again, then you have a couple days to hype up Saturday, and certainly is going to be a big one. Yeah, Josh, you mentioned that a little earlier, but another big one as well. San Diego State is home against Nevada. That's actually on Wednesday, I believe, Josh. So I will triple check that to make sure. But Nevada, yeah, that's Wednesday there. So Boise State gets to play tomorrow, and then Boise State gets the extra day of rest and gets to relax and watch those 2 teams battle it out. And then San Diego State will have to turn around and come to Boise for the game on Saturday. And again, I know it happened last Saturday, but 11 a.m. Mountain Time, that's a 10 a.m. Mountain Time or 10 a.m. Pacific Time. That's a early start for San Diego State and on their body clocks. 11 a.m. Boise start, 10 a.m. It'll be a unique start for Boise State as well. We'll talk more about that later in the week, but I know Boise State's had played a couple of early afternoon games, but I can't remember an 11 a.m. local time start in a long time for Boise State. But again, got to win tomorrow night for Saturday's game to have as much on the line as it potentially does. And so, and if you want to have fun and look ahead, why not? That's what we do. If Boise State were able to beat San Diego State, they go to Fresno after that, and then they have Utah State at home. There's a real chance. There's a real possible chance Boise State could be 7-0 in Mountain West play going to the Pit on Wednesday, January 31st. So the next Boise State is home, both games this week, and then the next 2 weeks they have the midweek road games at Fresno, and then the following week they are at New Mexico. So if Boise State can take care of business at home, like we all think they can beat San Diego State and then find a way to beat Utah State, Boise State could be 7-0 and maybe ranked inside the top 20 heading to the Pit on Wednesday, January 31st. So that could be a lot of fun. And just a heads up, I believe both the next two midweek games, Fresno and New Mexico, are like 8:30 starts, but at least they're road games, so a little bit better than that. The UNLV game tomorrow night, by the way, is an 8 p.m. start. I don't mind the 8 p.m. starts. I feel like more fans have time to go home and get in there, and the 9 p.m. starts aren't fun, but I think like the 8 p.m. start is a nice little sweet spot where the place is usually juiced and amped and ready to go at tip-off. And so big game tomorrow night, and really looking forward to it. Again, Jay Tust will join us. We'll find out his thoughts on tomorrow's game, and we'll see his AP ballot come out here in a little bit. And Jay puts a ton of work into his AP ballot. I know for a fact because he's talked to me about it and asked questions about it before. So as I said, I personally would not argue if you have Boise State ranked. Chris Murray has him 24th. I'll be curious if anybody else has him ranked. I saw Jeff Grammer, who covers the Mountain West, does not have Boise State ranked this week. I think the computer numbers are just a little too low for me. But if they were to find a way to go 2-0 this week, I think Boise State should and probably will be ranked next week. And they've only been ranked, as you guys know, 2 or 3 times in program history. So 2 wins this week would benefit Boise State in a major way for a lot of reasons, and really solidify them, I think, as a top 25 team, solidify them as an NCAA tournament team. At least to this point, you're starting to see them right there on the bubble or on the edge of the field by some bracketologists and things like that. And so we'll see what happens here this week. But big game tomorrow night, and again, we're going to talk to Leon Rice coming up at 12:30. Sounds like Rob Dauster was alluding to the fact that they're interviewing Leon Rice for the Field of 68 podcast. That'll come out tomorrow, I think he said. So a lot of the San Diego State game, Tyree says, is number 10 on Andy Katz's games of the week to watch. So there you go. Curious who wins Mountain West Player of the Week. Should be announced today. Yeah, should be out in the next 10 minutes or so. Usually that comes out. I'll check my email to make sure I didn't already get it. But yeah, that should be out by 10, 11 o'clock this morning, the Mountain West Player of the Week. Boise State went 2-0. You certainly could maybe make a case there for Tyson Degenhart. He had 20 points in the last game. I believe he had a pretty good game against Colorado State as well. They tend to do that a little bit with team success as well. So if you had, the 2 wins over, quad 1 wins, you'd think they'd want to give it to somebody from Boise State potentially. But we'll find out. I haven't looked at every box score from around the Mountain West yet to see who else is, deserving of that at this point. Does Buzo have a COVID year available? I believe Buzo has 1 more year after this. I believe he has 1 more year, if I did my math right, but I need to keep looking into that because some people have asked me before on that. But I believe Buzo has 1 more year. I believe that is the case. This is 23. He played 2 years, 21. I'll have to look into that. I think he has 1 more year. I thought he came to Boise State with 3 years of eligibility, but we'll triple check on that. Omar Stanley does. Somebody else asked about him. Omar Stanley, yes, has 1 more year next year. So that could be incredible to have Tyson Degenhart, Omar Stanley, and some of these guys, Andrew Meadow, and then potentially even Abo back for another year next year. I mean, I'll be curious on Abo too. Like, I think he's a pro. I think Abo's an NBA player, and he may just think it's time for him to go chase that dream and go. And I don't think anybody would be surprised for him to want to go play pro ball. We'll see what happens in the next 2 months, but I would not 100% count on Abo coming back next year at this point. Just we'll see how it plays out. But I think he's got a pro career, and this may be the time for him to kind of jump on that. But you saw the improvement he's making this year. Maybe he thinks he can do it again next year and improve his stock even more. We'll see. I think he's certainly going to play overseas. Josh is asking about NBA pro. I mean, the way he shoots and how athletic he is and how well he's built, I mean, he's certainly going to have a long career overseas, but it would not shock me to see Buzo in the NBA. I think he keeps playing like this. He's got a chance to get, he could be a second-round draft pick. I mean, Justinian Jessup, some of these other guys from Boise State. I mean, Chandler Hutchison was a first-round draft pick. I mean, Chibuzo Abo, to me, with the way he can shoot the basketball from the outside, the size that he has, the physicality. I'm not an NBA scout, but it would not shock me at all if Chibuzo Abo was an NBA player. So we'll see. But I would, if you're a Boise State fan, I would probably enjoy Chibuzo Abo while you have him this year. But that takes nothing away from Degenhart and Stanley and Meadow and some of the guys. I know Peanut Carmichael. They really like coming in next year with Julian Bowie as well. I mean, I think next year's team. I know everybody hates to already say next year, but I think next year could be even better year, than this year potentially moving forward. So Leon Rice and company have this thing rolling, and they're looking for a program record third straight NCAA tournament appearance this year, and certainly that would be helped by a couple of wins this week. We hope you will subscribe to our contest. If you won a prize from last Friday's game, please send me an email. I'll try to have Jaden reach out to you guys as well, but $50 one-time fee for Bronco Nation News. We'd love to have you become a member. BNN 50 deal is the promo code, or the coupon code, I guess it's called, at BroncoNationNews.com. You click on register over on the right-hand side. And Mike Prater's working on a basketball column. I've got a lot of exclusive content on there. We've got a daily email. You get a lot of exclusive articles, videos. You get full access to the site. You're no paywall if you pay the $50 at BNN 50 deal. And it also gets you into some cool contests we're doing. Every Friday, we're giving away some cool items, some beer, some Cutwaters, and then some cool items as well. And we will be giving away this Friday a grill, a Cutwater grill. I'll take a picture of it and post it on tomorrow's show. But a nice Cutwater grill is our big prize tomorrow. We've got some gift cards to the James, Taco Bell, and we're giving away 5, 6, 7 items a week. And then our grand prize, which we'll give away in early February, will be a trip for 2 on a private jet to San Diego for the final game of the season. Looking forward to that, and hope you guys subscribe. One lucky winner is going to get to bring a guest, private jet for 2 down to San Diego, and then you'll get to go to the game, stay at the hotel for the night, and have a nice brunch down by the beach, and then head back to Boise on that Saturday. So that's going to be for our grand prize winner. And again, $50 BNN 50 deal gets you a subscription, and we're looking forward to that. I will throw out the promo yet again. I should go ahead and get the graphic that I created, but we are going to Circa Resort and Casino. We would love to have you guys join us for the Mountain West Tournament, our pool party down there in Las Vegas. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to that, and hopefully you guys will join us on Friday, March 15th. We will be there at 10 to 4. So you're going to get free entry if you RSVP to me. There's a form you may have to fill out from Circa as well, but I haven't got it yet. But if you, normally it's a $40, $50 cover charge. If you are not staying at Circa or the D and want to come hang out with us, Johnny and Prater, we just announced, are going to be doing their show from out there that day. I'll be doing a show, and all the games, Big 12, SEC, Big 10, all the conference tournament games are going to be on the TVs all day. And we'll have some food, some drinks, some music. It's going to be a lot of fun, and that'll lead us into semifinal Friday. So hopefully Boise State gets the win on Thursday, and then on Friday you can come hang out from 10 to 5. The first game on Friday doesn't start till 6 o'clock, so you need something to do all day on Friday. Come hang out, check out Stadium Swim. It's an unbelievable venue, 6 pools, outdoor, rooftop at Circa Resort and Casino. It's an amazing spot, and you need to come check it out. The only thing I do need to throw in there is it is 21 and up. So if you're coming with kids to the Mountain West Tournament, they are not able to come in 21 and up. But again, I have a 15% off link. So if you want to stay at Circa or the D, I can get you 15% off. Send me an email, rains@bronconationnews.com, and I'll get you the promo. And we would highly recommend you staying there. It's an awesome spot, and then you get free entry throughout your stay if you're staying there at the D or Circa into Stadium Swim. But if you already have room somewhere else, or you're down on the Strip or Airbnb, that's fine. Hopefully you'll tell your friends to come join us for the BNN KTIK pool party. And again, free entry if you RSVP to Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com. And this is only about 2 months away. So we're talking Mountain West basketball. It's going to be one of the most exciting conference tournaments maybe ever. So if you're on the fence, I highly recommend it. The plane flights are still pretty cheap, like $89 on that Wednesday night to fly down there, I think. So if you're looking to come down to Vegas, we would love to have you stay with us at Circa Resort and Casino. And again, Friday, March 15th, 10 to 5, we'll be doing the BNN KTIK pool party. If you are a paying subscriber, we're going to have a cabana with some food and drinks for you. If you're not a paying subscriber, again, you can still come for free with the RSVP and hang out. We're going to have a big private pool area blocked off for everybody, and it's going to be a lot of fun, our private pool, and just to hang out with other fans and get ready for the games on Saturday. Super excited, or Friday night. So super excited to officially be able to announce this, and hopefully you guys will join us. And again, if you're not staying there but you want free entry, please send me an RSVP, Reigns at BroncoNationNews.com, and we will get you locked and loaded, and can't wait. So if you're on the fence, you still got 2 months to plan your travel. Highly recommend it right now. Come on down to Vegas. Going to be a lot of fun. And again, I got a 15% off link for Circa, the D, and Golden Gate as well. Shout out to Derek Stevens, our friend, the owner of Circa Resort and Casino. He's a big Detroit Lions fan from Detroit. So congrats to Derek and Wilbo and the whole crew over there on the Detroit Lions win last night. I know he's pumped up. Saw a video posted at Circa that he was pumped up there in the sports book watching the game. So I'm sure that next week, the Detroit Lions game, you'll have Derek and company again. Getting excited about that. So shout out to Derek. And again, Circa Resort and Casino, we appreciate them. Hopefully you will join them and join us for the conference tournament coming up in March. Appreciate you guys for checking us out today. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you so much for all the comments. Thanks to Rob Dauster for joining us and jumping on. And hope everybody has a great Monday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. And again, Jay Tuss will join me on a game day, 9 a.m. tomorrow, Jay Tuss. And then we'll be live about 7 o'clock tomorrow night with the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Abe Jackson will join me, and we'll give you a live look at warm-ups and really break this thing down. So we'll get more specific into the game tomorrow and kind of break the game down and where things stand with Jay. And then obviously the pregame show will be live from the arena. We'll have the postgame show as well after the game. So ton of coverage coming to Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. Hopefully you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our Twitter account, our TikTok, our Instagram. All that stuff is free. So hopefully you will continue to join us, and we would really appreciate that if you guys would join us on social media and share all of our content and things to help us get a wider reach to other folks as well. And as I said earlier, if you want to get in that contest and try to win that private jet to San Diego, BNN 50 deal is the promo code, $50 one-time fee for the full year. And we would really appreciate that if you're able to jump in, and hopefully you can be the winner. So have a great rest of your Monday. Go play in the snow with the kids. Have some fun. We appreciate you guys. We're going to go down and interview Tim Duryea and Leon Rice and get those interviews up on the YouTube channel. And we'll have plenty of coverage. BroncoNationNews.com. We'll have a story up this afternoon as well, talking about the Broncos and the matchup with UNLV. So you can read that if you're a paying subscriber later this afternoon into this evening. 2 NFL games as well today. So enjoy those and have fun. And appreciate you guys. Well over 100 viewers the entire show, and super appreciative to see the jump in interest for Bronco Nation News. And obviously it's going to be a fun time. It already is a fun time with conference play rolling and Boise State playing well. So we'll see what happens here. We'll ride the wave together. We'll have full coverage for you. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with Jay Tuss. Check our YouTube channel. Check BroncoNationNews.com later today for our content from the interviews. And we'll talk to you later. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.